Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Hey traders, let's have a bit of a market update in today's video. Let's go have a look at what's been happening or what's happened today in the markets. What we can see right now in the Dow Jones, if I zoom in a lot more on Dow Jones, we can see we had a bit of a nice breakaway from this overall level of support through here. But you can see how it really hasn't broken through a lot, hasn't it? We have rolled over and we have actually started to break down through here. So I would say it does look like, looking at this level here, we have a significant level of support coming down through here around about, I'd have to say around about that level there, maybe even a bit lower. So it does look like that the market wants to continue down lower from here. If I zoom in, you can see how it's actually made this sort of head and shoulder formation and breaking down. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we did start to see the Dow Jones start to head back down towards this level here. At least a 50% retracement. If we measure from the low to the high, you can see that 50 to 60% level is actually right smack bang on those levels through there. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the market did make its way down through to here. And if we definitely break that 24,000 level on the Dow, then we could be in the makings of the start of the overall top of the markets for a couple of year bear market to come. So it'd be really interesting to see that. Same for the S&P 500, right? And you'll notice one thing about the S&P 500. Notice how we're going up so high. And if you've been following me and been watching my videos for the last few months, I was saying through here that as the market was there, I'm just saying this market's gone up too far, it's gone up too fast. I'm expecting some sort of a pullback soon. And as you can see, right, it's slowly happening right now. Once again, I expect some sort of a 50, maybe a 50% pullback possibly. And we can see from there to there, that whole level through there is indeed a massive support level in the market. So I wouldn't be too surprised if it did make its way down through there. Not straight away. It might have an update. It might slowly go down through there. You know what I mean? So because the way the market's been working lately, you can see, right, there's no strong movement in either direction. It's more like meh, right? It's slowly moving in the direction, slowly moving up and slowly moving down. So whole selling may go away is happening right now. I would expect that to continue. And then moving forward through to maybe July, August, maybe into July and then August, we're probably going to start to pick up again from there. And if we go down to the Nasdaq's doing the same sort of thing as well too. If we delete everything off the screen there, you can see how, right? And you can see the reason why we're getting this pullback here. So look how vertical that move was in the market. And when you get that sort of action in the markets, guess what? You're due for some sort of a pullback. So once again, some sort of 50% pullback in the markets through here. We could see, I could see the Nasdaq heading down towards these levels through here. And it's interesting, isn't it? That 50 to 60% area is a whole. See all this area through here. See, it's had a lot of support and resistance all through that area through in the past. So it'd be really interesting to see whether that's going to if it's, whether the market's going to continue down from there or not. I would expect that to happen because we have had a big run up. So it's just a nice pullback. But if we do break past the 60% level through here, this 7,000 level on the Nasdaq, then if we go to our weekly charts here, then that could be the start of this big movement down. So as you can see, guys, right, it's really important to just use simple but powerful analysis when you're reading these charts, just like I'm doing right now in front of you, to gauge what's really going on. We've got the strength in moves, meaning how strong it is, and little things like if the market's gone up too fast, too hard, we know that's done a lot of movement in the direction without a pullback. And how does the market work? Eventually, we're going to get some sort of a pullback, right? And then we pull back through there. So that's all. That and a whole bunch more I teach you in the Master Trader Lab, and you can grab a free trial to that at mastertraderlab.com. And so one thing I want to share with you is I I find one of the things that really stops a lot of traders from trading the markets, and I saw that with a lot of my private clients today as well too. And with my private clients, I'm there every single day helping them out. You know what I mean? So like, for example, I trade the last hour of the US stock market. I'm getting in today and I'm holding 1 to 5 days or maybe even a couple of weeks or more in the trade. So we were looking at a trade today and I'm saying, listen, this is a really good trade. And I could see a lot of people were a bit, I'm not too quite sure. And the thing was this, is that it was an amazing quality trade, but there was this one thing there that was keeping them unsure. But the thing is this, is that one thing I've noticed is that there's two sides to where most traders go, where most traders really go wrong in the markets. The first side is they just trade whenever they want to trade. You know what I mean? And they sort of go through that. If when you first start trading, right, you just get in because you think it's a good idea, because you hope it's a good idea, or you're fearful of missing out. Never trade based on what you think, hope, or fear. That's never a good idea. Makes sense? You only should be trading based on a trading setup. So anyway, I was looking at and was sharing with traders. Like, listen, guys, I got into the trade today, and that's what I do with my private clients. Like, if we're talking about a trade, like today, I got in today, and then we're gonna watch that trade unfold over the next couple of days. And I know 90+% of the time, this trade's gonna generate a really nice profit for me. But I could see, even though it's a real high quality, high probability trading setup, I could see that they were scared of losing money. And this is a really, really, really big thing. The first side, where most traders start off when they get in because they think, because they hope, because they're fearful of missing out. Think it's a good idea, hope it's a good idea, or fearful of missing out. So what happens with that? They end up getting smacked, right? You've probably been there before. I have probably 1,000 houses with 1,000 cupboards for those t-shirts. Right? So then they go to the other side, where now they're fearful of even putting on a trade because they're fearful of losing money. You know what I mean? And so what you need is a good trading system. And then with a good trading system, you need that discipline and patience to only take in those setups, and know that if your system, like my system that I trade, has a 90+% success rate, that means 90 plus, probably like 95% of this, I find it 95% of the time. And it really is that high. I know I'm going to generate a profit. Now, sometimes it's going to be a small profit. Sometimes it's going to be a really, really, really big profit. You know what I mean? So I'll give you an example of the last couple of trades that I've taken here, and I'll share with you what I'm talking about here. So let me just go through this one here. So there was, let me just walk through here. Which one was Oh wow! Look at that actually hit there. And as we can see, which one was it? Right, so I recently got out of this one here. This was a trade here that I got into. This was the breakout bar, and the very next day I actually got out. I was in here and out there, almost a couple of 100% return with options. Beautiful trade, right? So that was actually a really, really nice run, really, really nice trade there. But then I got into a trade just recently, and I got in and I got out. Which one was it? I think it's. Which one was it? I'm just trying to... Yeah, that was a really, really nice trade. Which one was it? I think it was... Yeah, this one here. Right. So as we can see, right, this one here, it actually went against me. Like I got in on this breakout bar. It went against me when it just went sideways for a few days, came down and went sideways, and I got out somewhere around about here. Right. I got out somewhere around about here, and it was around about a 50 or 60% profit. Right. Still not bad for basically a week in the trade. But as you can see, right, this one here was around call it a 50% profit. But guess what? This trade here that I took just recently, guess what? That was a home run. So that's what I mean by sometimes it's going to be a smaller profit, like maybe a 30 or 50% profit, and then sometimes it's going to be a home run. Makes sense? And so the thing is that the one thing is that they're so that once you start to work on your discipline to only taking really good quality trades, then you've got to get into an attitude of your trading amount. Your wins should not be exciting you, and your losses should not be hurting you. Okay, so your wins should not be exciting you, because what are we trying to do when we're trading the markets? We're trying to keep in an even balance. So firstly, to only be taking the setups that you believe in, right? And then secondly, with that, what you want to be doing is that you want to be trading in an amount where the wins are not exciting you. So like if I get a 50% profit or a 200% profit, either I'm not really excited, right? Because it's not like it's according to the risk on my account, the profit and the risk on my account, it's neither here or there. You know what I mean? So it's really, really good profit, but it's not getting me really, really excited, because I don't want to be excited. I'm like, thank you. That my job is to trade. I get into the trade today, watch it unfold. Most of the time, it's going to generate a profit, just like I just showed you there. One was a 50% profit, and then recently it was a couple of 100% profit. You know what? And then, hey, heck, I may get into a trade and it may go sideways, and I might have a 30% loss. Sometimes that just happens, and it's just. But there's always a lesson through there. But trade an amount where the wins are not exciting you and the losses are not hurting you. And then when you do that, have a not give a shit factor. Like, you shouldn't give a shit whether this trade is a profitable trade or not. And I promise you, if you start to work on those 3 pillars, firstly, are you being disciplined and consistent at taking a quality setup that you believe in? Secondly, are you trading an amount where the wins are not exciting you and the losses are not hurting you? Right? And you definitely want to be keeping that losses not hurting you thing, right? And then thirdly, it's so important to have a not give a shit factor. Like, so many people are trying to make money on every single trade that even when they have like with me, a really high win-loss ratio, they're so scared to getting into these trades that they're scared of losing money. So what ends up happening, right? They don't take the quality trades that actually make money, and because they don't get frustrated, then they go take a less quality trade that actually doesn't make money. And see how that's the snowball effect through there. So one of the biggest things to my success in my trading career has been really that very last one through there. No, they've been all 3 of them, really. Just being disciplined and patient, being disciplined and patient as long as waiting as long as I have to for the trade. And it could be anything, right? It could be anything. It could be a flag formation, could be a support, whatever you believe in, whatever system you're trading, find out exactly what you're looking for and then just trade that, okay? It doesn't matter what it really is. But then secondly, because the trading system is really only about 5 or 10% of your success. The rest is your emotional balance, right? Are you trading them out where your wins are not exciting you and the losses not hurting you? And then thirdly, do you have a not give a shit factor? Because you can't. Because that not give a shit factor is like, I don't care if this is a losing trade. My job is to trade these markets, right? And my mentor early on said to me, John, most people would rather be right than rich. Most people would rather be right than rich. And what he means by that is so many people are so scared of losing money that they'd rather wait for, make sure that they are 100% certain that this is going to be a really good trade. I have no idea. I got into a trade today. As I was saying before, right? I got into a trade this morning, my time, as the American market was closing, and me and my private clients were talking about the trade. And some of them got into it and some of them didn't. I got into it because it's just like, I'm not trying to be right or wrong with you. I know most of the time these trades are going to generate a nice profit. But I can see some of my private clients, they're trying to be right with it. You know what I mean? And it's like, no, here's a good quality trade. Let's just take it. And more times than not, that's how you do really, really, really well in the markets. Make sense? So you got to have a not give a shit factor with your trading. If you're hoping to make money on every single trade, you start to pick and you start to choose. And when you do that, you start to skew the results massively against you, and therefore you're downhill from there. One of the biggest things to success in trading is when you see your trade, you just take it and have a not give a shit factor. And from there, because you're not picking and choosing, that's when your win-loss ratio is really going to start to show. Make sense? Because you can have I can share with you a trading system that has a 90+% success rate, But if you start to pick and choose, guess what Murphy Law is going to say? The one you think is not going to work out, works out, and the one that you think is going to work out doesn't work out. You know what I mean? Or doesn't generate a profit. And before you know it, you're on the backside there. So one, what exactly what you're after? It's and then secondly, be disciplined and be consistent at patient at trading that one setup. And then, secondly, make sure you trade an amount where the wins are not exciting you and the losses are not hurting you. Try to keep an even balance. Trading for me is boring. It really is. Like, there's a setup, get in. Most of the time, make a profit. Thank you very much, right? It's not an exciting thing for me. I get excited about teaching, right? I get excited about doing these videos. So it's not an exciting thing for me, right? Because I've seen this thing 1,000 times. I know, what's going to happen. And then thirdly, you got to have a not give a shit factor and don't be and stop trying to be right, because you trying to be right is stopping you from being rich. Hey traders, well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I've just recorded a brand new training walking you through my #1 and the most powerful trading system on the planet. I'm going to be walking through all the details plus the 3 secrets to absolutely crushing it in the trading. If you're struggling with the trading right now, you absolutely must see this. Very first thing in the description, click on that right now.